I'm Laura Nixon and I'm the class teacher of a Year 3 class at Wimbledon Chase Primary School.
Bonjour! Salut! Salut!
One of my great lesson ideas is to use a familiar story. For example, in the lesson that I'll do today, it's Le Petit Chaperon Rouge, which is Little Red Riding Hood, and it's to use a familiar story that the children know fairly well in English anyway, to show them French in written form and to learn French sounds and vocabulary. The aim of the lesson today is basically to get the children confident using quite challenging phrases, you know, for the age that they are. The two phrases in particular today are j'ai, I have, and je n'ai pas, I don't have, which ordinarily probably wouldn't be introduced until the children were a good bit older. But I think that if you can do it in a fun way, the children are able to take on anything.
Who knows je n'ai pas? Alice?
I haven't.
Très bien, I do not have.
And we will do some shared reading of Le Petit Chaperon Rouge, and the children have made up actions themselves to go with some of the key vocabulary. So there's grand-mère, maman, le gâteau, les fleurs, le forêt, le petit chaperon rouge, le loup, all those characters. And I narrate the story, and when the children join in, or when the children can join in, you know, that they join in with the key vocabulary and with the actions.
Que tu as de grands oreilles, grand-mère?
And I always remind the children first that it's important that they do the action, because I find quite often if I point to the character and say, you know, who's this? The child doesn't necessarily get it, but if I point to the character, do the action and say, you know, who's this? They'll say Le Petit Chaperon Rouge, because they made that action up and they make that connection between the word and the action. So I think that works really well.
J'ai le gâteau, yum yum, chez grand-mère. Grand-mère. Très bien. Give yourselves a clap. That was really impressive.
I find it also it's getting the children used to looking at written French, because at this stage I rarely ask them to write or spell French, because it just doesn't make sense at this stage when they're still, you know, learning to spell English. After I do that, the shared reading, I have this idea that I use, it's a washing line technique. So I get two children up holding a washing line, which is essentially a piece of string, and I clip the new word. Sometimes it's vocabulary, sometimes it's key phrases, as it will be today, and I clip them along the washing line. And I find that really useful because, again, they're looking at the written French, but I always say to the children, copy what you hear, don't read what you see.
Je n'ai pas. Très bien, je n'ai pas.
So they're looking at it and they're saying it, and it feels for them like they're reading it, but actually, you know, they're pronouncing it correctly and they're looking along the washing line, and it just makes it, honestly, it just makes it a bit different to looking at the whiteboard every single day. And I also find it quite good that I can take bits off the washing line and get them, you know, doing it from memory.
Who can remember the other one now? Kira? J'ai le petit chaperon rouge.
J'ai le petit chaperon rouge.
Très bien.
And today, because the key phrases that I'm using are j'ai and je n'ai pas, and they know that I want them to say I have or I have not got Little Red Riding Hood. So instead of having in words Le Petit Chaperon Rouge along it as well, I just use a little picture of her, because otherwise it just gets to the point of overload, and the thing that I wanted them to learn were those key phrases. And then the picture kind of rounds it off and makes it seem a little bit more accessible to them, I think.
Okay, and who knows how to say this one en français, s'il vous plaît? Très bien, Sam.
Je n'ai pas le petit chaperon rouge.
Très bien, je suis très impressionnée.
I think they really like it. First of all, they're always dying to be the people that hold the washing line, so that's a good behaviour management technique, if anything. But I think they really enjoy it, and it's like a memory pairs game, you know, that they would be used to playing. You know, you can take things off the washing line, or you can clip them on, and I think, you know, simply like aesthetically, it's just something different for them, and it's, you know, it's something that I only ever use in French, and it's something then that they associate with, you know, learning a new phrase or a new piece of vocabulary.